Let me know how it feels when a bullet goes through your skin and into your brain.
Jared, he's up my ass. Want to tickle his feet?
Oh, yeah, those are a couple of good quotes.
Those are gems. I'm Russ here with my other host, Jared.
Good.
You like that? I think that's 2 episodes in a row. I got that right.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah. What fantastic piece of meat are we going to be going through today that those 2 quotes come from?
We are talking about Force of Nature.
Oh boy.
Yep, a real film.
A real force of nature, all right.
Somebody committed this to some kind of media, digital media, presumably. So synopsis for those of you who may not have watched the movie, because ideally you haven't.
Yeah, exactly. Ideally you're wasting 2 hours of your life with us and not 2 hours watching that movie.
Right.
So
this will be better. I can almost certainly promise you that.
I can, yeah. Well, let's see until we get to the end. But yeah.
That's why I said almost. Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, that's fair.
So a gang of thieves plan a heist during a hurricane, because of course, and encounter trouble when a cop tries to force everyone in the building to evacuate.
That's a pretty flimsy setup there for me. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, the hurricane really serves no purpose in this movie. Like, we're going to get into it, but like, there's no reason for this to be during a hurricane at all.
They could have come up with a better, I mean, the whole reason for the hurricane was to keep everyone locked in a building. It's a single location type of movie, right? Kind of like a Die Hard, if you will, or like Speed 2 or Speed 1 or...
Sure. Yeah, other better movies have already done it.
Yeah. So quick info we got. So yeah, Force of Nature came out. This was released in June of this year, 2020.
Yep, digital in the U.S. Only.
Yep, got an international, theater release. We'll get into that. Yeah, I mean, this makes sense for this movie to be released this year. It's got let's see who's in it. So not many actors really are in it, but we got Mel Gibson. He's kind of like the big title name there. Kate Bosworth. Haven't seen her in anything since ever in a long time. Emile Hirsch, which is kind of the rando here. He's like oddly like good in some movies and then just like not in others. I don't know.
Like this one.
David Zayas, who plays a villain, and if you don't recognize his name, he was in Dexter. He played just one of the detectives in the Miami department there, right?
Yeah, the real star of this movie, for sure. Like definitely.
Is the Hurricane?
No, is David Zayas. He's like, in my opinion, is despite the garbage dialogue that's handed to him, is far and away the best actor in this movie.
And when you say that, there is a certain level of, just to, fellow listeners, just so you know, there's a certain benchmark when you say that. So
yeah, exactly.
Oh, bad. And then there's Stephanie Kayo, I think is how you pronounce her last name. This is her first American film, English-speaking film, I should say. She played the Emile Hirsch's partner, cop. So
yep, the other cop.
That's pretty much it. And then there's a couple other secondary characters. We'll get to them.
Yep.
Written for the screen by a Corey Miller. We did some digging on him. He doesn't have a lot of credits to his name. I think he's only done like 3 or 4 shorts, and then this is his first feature.
Yep. It shows.
Yep. It does. Hey, everyone, you got to get your start somewhere. Completely fine. Looks like he did some TV series stuff as like a camera, electrical department stuff, but just a lot of shorts and first feature. So, hey,
got to cut your teeth somewhere, and what better way than a Mel Gibson vehicle?
Yep. Production costs here. So this movie had a budget of $23 million, which I mean, yeah.
Like I don't understand where all the money went.
I feel like we say this for every movie.
Yeah, but usually I think they're cheaper, or they're like, I don't know. Like, is Mel Gibson had to be all the costs on this one, right?
It was probably $20 million to make the hurricane happen and $3 million to actually make the movie.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know. So $23 million, but this does fall in the category of our investigative journalism we're doing here, if I may.
Keep the storyline going.
This is storyline. I'm going to throw this in here now. So there was a lot of production companies tied to this movie again.
Yep.
Like a lot.
Yep.
We'll get into that. So a lot of production companies. There's like, I think somewhere around, I did a quick count. I think there's like 20, there's definitely 20 plus, probably 25 to 30 producers listed on this movie.
Oh, I'm glad you counted.
I had nothing else to do.
I lost count. Yeah.
And for movies we've seen, like the average number for, normal movies you go see and enjoy, there's only like 10, 12 maybe.
Sure.
And we also found that our friends, we're not friends, but whatever. Emmett and Furla.
Don't say that they're our friends.
I know. Geez, I shouldn't say that. Emmett and Furla are the pair that did 10 Minutes Gone, right?
Right.
Episode, whatever that was, 4 or 5 or 6 from that we did.
Like, for those of you in the audience who are definitely going to collect on this guy's debt someday, like, we're not his friends. We're not their friends. It's brothers. Are they brothers?
No, they're not related at all. They're just,
They're brothers. Yeah. I'm assuming they're brothers.
I don't know them. We don't know them. Okay. Just want to get that on tape. So yeah, maybe a little shadiness going on. I don't know.
It's definitely a money laundering movie for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, there's no one sat back after this and was like, "Hey guys, we did a good job." Everyone did their best.
Yep.
Anyway. No one worked on this movie.
They're just like, can I just get a paycheck and move on to my next job, please? Which is weird. So Mel Gibson, I mean, he didn't have a lot of screen time.
Minutes.
But he pulls in. So I did some digging. I was trying to find like what each actor makes per movie, like on average. And he's pretty much this entire budget, but that's gonna be for like a real movie. So
this isn't Braveheart. This isn't.
But he was certainly, no doubt, like the highest probably cost of this entire film. So
totally, yeah. And then somehow internationally managed to make $638,000 at the box office. I can't believe that.
Yeah, well, it looks like it was pretty big in. Let's see what countries you got here. Huge in Australia. Huge.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Mel Gibson.
Oh, good call. Good connection there. He was born in New York, though, so whatever.
I know.
But
just saying, they like him over there.
Oh yeah, I mean Mad Max. I mean, come on, you can't go over that. So, all right, that makes sense. Good tie in there. It's 300,000 made in Australia.
Unbelievable.
Netherlands, Portugal, Ukraine, the old United Arab Emirates.
Yep.
Emirates, right?
Good one. Yep.
Make sure I pronounce that correctly this time.
Uh-huh.
Vietnam, pretty big in Vietnam, 37,000. Yeah,
I was going to say, I feel like good showing for Vietnam for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess not good for you because you went to go see this movie.
That's a good point.
I'm sorry for your loss, Vietnam.
That's
like, this movie sucked. This movie was really, really bad. Not the kind of bad that I usually like.
Yeah.
I'm actually mad that we watched this.
So I think so the only thing so directed by Michael Polish, who I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't think he's really done anything else of note, but he's done a lot of stuff. He's directed 17 things, but nothing on here stands out to me. Nothing I know.
Jackpot?
No clue. We can take a look, but
I'm just kidding. I don't know what Jackpot is.
Yeah.
I was just in his overview up the top of the IMDb page, it was like known for Jackpot.
Oh yeah.
And also married to Kate Bosworth.
I mean, isn't IMDb pretty much like Wikipedia where anyone can go in and edit this stuff? So
yeah.
Married
to Kate Bosworth is important.
Yes. All right, so you're gonna pitch me this movie. What's your pitch in this thing?
Yeah, little Hollywood pitch action. I feel like no brainer. It's the Hurricane Heist because it is that movie.
I don't know what that is.
Meets The Beaver. Little Mel Gibson flop for you there.
Oh.
So the Hurricane Heist. It's not exactly the same, but it came out a couple years ago. It's about pulling off a heist during a Category 5 hurricane.
How do you know this movie?
It's awful. Don't watch it. But better than this movie.
Oh, it's got Maggie Grace in it. Yeah, she plays Taken's daughter there.
Exactly. Yep. No, it's got a couple of good things in it. It's not terrible, but it's basically It's almost the same movie.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I see Fast and Furious in a hurricane, basically.
Yep, and that's it.
I mean, this is pretty much literally like these attempt a massive heist against U.S. Treasury as a Category 5 hurricane approaches one of its mint facilities.
Right. So like move it to Puerto Rico and make it about art, and it's the same movie.
Boom. Same. It's the same but different. That's what they want in Hollywood. Similar but different.
Right. And The Beaver is one. I don't know if you saw. Did you see that one?
I think I did. That's with isn't Jodie Foster in that?
Yeah. She directed it.
Oh, she directed. Okay. No, she's in it.
Oh, she's in it. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. It's all.
Anton Yelchin too. Oh yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah. No. It has it like Jennifer Lawrence is in it too. It has good actors in this movie, but it's where Mel Gibson is like, I'm assuming playing himself, like a troubled guy, depressed alcoholic who, I mean, this one is more puppet based than he probably is in real life, but
you don't know. You don't know him.
You're right. I don't know him. So maybe
you don't know the Mel.
Yeah, he's a big puppet boy, I guess, and yeah, I'm assuming like the character he plays in this movie is that same character without the puppet.
All right. Okay. I might have to watch this. I'd throw it on the list.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
It's also one of the handful of Mel Gibson movies that have like very much flopped.
All right, that's a pretty good one. I was very nice, I think, but so like it's this meets that. Like I'm picturing myself as either the filmmaker or like producer of this, trying to like get money for it from someone.
Yep.
And so when I say the two movies on a list here, like have that lens on, right? Because mine are like, these are good movies.
Sell me this movie, Russ.
I'm going to sell you this movie because you're going to want to give me money right now after I say this. Yeah. You know what it's like? It's like Snake Eyes meets Die Hard. Cool, Max, you would totally give me money to make that movie.
Are you calling this like a hurricane heist?
No.
Go on. Explain this to me because, again, those are good movies and this is not.
Yeah, well, again, I'm trying to raise money for this, so I wouldn't tell you shitty movies. So what, you can go make a piece of shit? How about I tell you two good movies and then you're like, oh, cool. Here's a bunch of money to go make a piece of shit.
Yeah. Have I got the dirty money for you?
Right? I guess that's true.
Let's funnel it into this.
Anyways, so Snake Eyes, the 1999, 98, whatever it was, I think, kind of noir, weird detective movie with Nicolas Cage. Good Cage performance, classic Cage performance.
Sure.
It's one place and they're trapped by a hurricane, the storm going on outside. So they're trapped in like the boxing arena.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. I guess the Die Hard part's not making any more sense now. Now that I think about it.
You tried.
Well, yeah, I tried. I did my best. I guess it doesn't make any sense now, does it?
It's like Snake Eyes meets Ocean's 11.
yeah.
If that was bad.
If they were both terrible movies. All right. Well, I got to work on I got to work on this. I'll get better, I was good at this before we started recording them. And then it's just downhill.
We used to play this for hours. Maybe that's why we got rid of all of our good ones.
Yeah.
Used them all up. Is it Fast Facts time?
Dude, you know what fucking time it is.
Hell yeah.
Fast Facts. We don't have many here. These are all pretty bad. I think you already said one of these too.
Probably.
First fast fact.
Yeah, Bruce Willis was originally for the Mel Gibson role, and I think that would have been a million times better. This is way more of a Bruce Willis movie than a Mel Gibson movie. I think I just dislike Mel Gibson enough that I was like, oh, I automatically am angry at this character.
You know what? I retract. I think my fucking Hollywood pitch is good now.
Yeah,
because if Bruce Willis was in this, boom, Snake Eyes meets Die Hard.
Sure. Yeah, then it would have. Yeah, you're right. Then it would be exactly Snake Eyes meets Die Hard.
But it's not.
Yeah.
So you think Bruce Willis would have made this better, tolerable?
Yes. He's less. I don't want to punch Bruce Willis like I want to punch Mel Gibson. Shout out to Mel Gibson.
I don't know, like watching Bruce Willis's last performance in like that 10 Minutes Gone movie. It was
great.
It was like a cardboard cutout was just walking around. They literally could have just had a cardboard cutout and have someone pretend to be Bruce Willis, you know? It was so bad. At least Mel Gibson was like, oh, he's just being Mel, which is, you know,
Yeah, just a
different.
regular amount of punchable.
It was Mel Gibson with like a hardcore New York accent, right? He was from New York too, wasn't he?
I don't know. I wrote that in one of my notes later. I was like, what accent is he doing here? It seems like New York, but
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get to it.
not great.
Second fast fact we got here. We've only got 4, so it shouldn't take us long.
Yeah, burn through these.
So it's a family affair here, if you will, fast facts in this movie. The Hurricane Heist. No, it's not the Hurricane Heist. It's the fucking movie, Force of Nature. Beep. Family affair. So Michael Polish is the director. He is married to Kate Bosworth, who acts and stars in Force of Nature.
Yep.
And Michael Polish's daughter is in Force of Nature as Emile Hirsch's brief but dead girlfriend.
Yep.
Which we'll get to. Spoilers. Fuck. Sorry. Whatever.
Yeah, way to spoil the first 20 minutes of the movie.
I don't even know. Not even close.
I'm just
Oh, yeah. She does show up in the first 20 minutes, doesn't she? Like a brief. Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. Don't worry about it. All right. From this point on, spoilers. You've been warned.
Yeah. And luckily filmed on location in Puerto Rico. Like the one redeeming quality of this movie
Yes.
is that it had really nice, beautiful Puerto Rican landscapes.
Yeah.
Like the filmography was pretty good in those parts where it was like, oh, I just want to show me more Puerto Rico.
From this point on, that's it for Fast Facts. That's all we got.
Yep. Time to get into the beef of this movie. Starting off again, we already talked about how this is a money laundering scheme. Lots of credits. We're talking maybe like 8 studio animations at the beginning. And then we're brought to you San Juan, Puerto Rico, 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Get ready for some time jumping because any movie that tells you right off the bat what time it is means it's going to bounce around in time.
Exactly. It's like the lazy way of showing you that this is a flashback.
Yeah. It's also just like, but it only does it this once.
True.
So, yeah, there we are.
Talk about the opening scene here. Describe that a little bit.
Which one?
What's happening at 4 p.m. here? This opening.
All right, yeah. So 4 p.m. We got a lot of shots of Puerto Rico, San Juan. I'm sorry, San Juan, and we're established. We're in San Juan. At the same time, they do have like a narrator, which I think is like a weatherman.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right, because it's just someone like they're like panning through the clouds. I think they went through clouds. Credits show the city again from different angles, speeding, zooming in, blah blah blah, and they have this narration going. Credits still rolling, and the narration is basically describing a hurricane and telling you that they're bad.
Right, and it's pouring rain, and there's like you see what's that?
And there's wind.
Right, and there's wind. Yep.
Like it's like we just say there's a hurricane coming. We all know what a fucking hurricane is like.
Right. And then yeah. And then we see, makes no sense at all. Then we see Mel Gibson like firing a gun at people.
Right. So we do get the thing going in, right? So the guy's describing hurricanes to us. It's like, I don't know who this is. They keep talking. They go closer shots of San Juan, right? And then they cut into it's raining, pouring rain, and Emile Hirsch and some random dude are like on all fours. Clearly they were fighting or doing something, and they get into like a little tango. And we see Bruce Willis and Mel Gibson. We wish we saw Bruce Willis.
Right.
We see Mel Gibson with a lady cop. I forget her name. We'll get to it later, maybe, hopefully. Yeah. And they're like walking around stairs, walking around this apartment complex and watching Emile Hirsch and this other guy fight in the middle of like, what is it, like an atrium, if you will, or like an open.
Yeah. I mean, I think it looks like an alleyway to me, at least.
No, it's in between, like, because like all the apartment buildings kind of wrap around, or, you know.
Courtyard. Yeah.
Courtyard. Yeah. Like a center spot you're probably not supposed to go to.
Sure.
With a gun. It's 4 p.m. pouring out, and Mel Gibson is trying to get a shot on, obviously not Emile Hirsch, because.
Well, not obviously not. Like at that point, who knows? I don't like. I'm super confused. I'm just calling it right now. Of like, I had no idea what was going on in this opening scene. I was like, why are we watching this? What's happening?
I didn't either. I was like, oh, this must be leading up to the end of the movie, and then they're going to show us everything that led up to that point, and then we're going to be at the end of the movie.
Right. And I also thought that Mel Gibson was the star based on this scene. I was like,
I did too.
Mel Gibson's going to be the guy.
Yeah. I mean, I knew Emile Hirsch was a good character because I watched the trailer.
Sure. I didn't.
And the other guy was like a faceless, no-name guy. So it was like, he's got to die. So that's how they start the movie.
Right. Then more credits.
And then it jumps to the old San Juan 8 hours earlier, right? I think it was.
Yep.
Man, that opening was brutal. All right, so now we track with our guy there, David Zayas, right? Our villain.
Yep.
John Baptiste, if you will.
John the Baptist. It's not John Baptiste. What are you?
I thought that's what he said.
No, he's John the Baptist. He goes by John the Baptist. That's the thing is like also everybody in this movie like at random times just speaks like weird English that doesn't make any sense and then switches into Spanish and then which I appreciate and I'm like, oh, these characters are seemingly at least trying to pretend that they're in Puerto Rico.
Whatever. So we go to David Zayas here, and he is
John the Baptist.
John Baptiste. Baptiste.
Yeah.
And I think he's like, all right. So I you thought it was a hotel they were going into. I thought it was a bank. I'm pretty sure it was a bank.
Yeah, I think it was a hotel because.
So we'll get to why you thought it was a hotel, but so let's go with the idea it's a bank. There's tellers. It doesn't look like a hotel at all.
Nope.
But so he
Puerto Rico looks amazing. Like I want to go to Puerto Rico now.
Oh yeah, I mean it's nice. San Juan's great. I've been there. And so we were tracking with this old lady inside the bank or hotel, whatever. And David Zayas here, John the Baptist. He's following her, right? And then he's like, "You have something you have something we need, or whatever." I don't know. It was very wishy about what the fuck was going on here, other than like, okay, he's a bad guy and he's gonna rob this old lady. And then
about an address. There's an important address that like never was brought up again.
Yeah, I think.
Presumably the address, I guess, was the apartment building, right? That the rest of the movie takes place in.
That's right, because the whole thing, the crux of the whole thing is we're talking about old Nazi art, basically.
Yeah, wait, is she a Nazi? Is the old lady a Nazi?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, all right. I'm back in.
It's all coming back together now. Okay.
We have to figure that out right now. Now the movie makes way more sense.
Way more fucking sense. Okay.
So this old Nazi lady.
All right, now it makes sense. Okay, old Nazi lady.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Before we move on, meanwhile, while everything that Russ is saying is happening, but also they're still setting up the seriousness of the hurricane. Like there's still random bits of dialogue over in the background of being like, oh, like
that's right.
Gonna be real windy out there.
Oh my god. All right, so
they give her.
I think our minds are blown there. We figured that out. I did not put that together at all.
No, me neither. So she like gives them like a little painting and an address. And like that's what they're doing up in this what you thought is a lockbox room or like a vault or something.
There was a safety deposit box thing.
I think it's just a hotel, dude. Like they were up in a conference room upstairs because then they head downstairs and they're like walking out and the old lady, first of all, she's like starts having a heart attack, right?
Yeah, she was like kind of having a moment.
Like she's about to have a heart attack, and then John the Baptist just like blows her away, and then shoots his buddy.
Yeah, that's right. John Baptist went in there with his henchman, whose name is Baby, by the way.
Right, because of course
that's important. That's important for one of the best lines ever.
Sure.
So yeah, he just shoots the two of them in the middle of the day, in the middle of the hotel bank lobby, where the fuck it is.
Yep.
In front of like 1,000 people.
Yep. For this painting. Presumably, and for a painting and an address.
1,000 people, 50 people, a lot of people. But yeah.
And I think the lady was going to die anyway at that point. Like she was definitely having a heart attack. And like, this is what makes me think they had to be in a hotel and not a bank is that there are no other armed people around. Like he just walks out. He like walks out the front door, gets in his car and is like, well, time to go.
Well, actually what he says is when he gets in the car, the henchman driving, he's like, oh, what happened to Baby? and this is David Zayas' line. Old prune panicked, the old lady.
Yep.
Baby was aborted.
Yep.
Like,
Grimy.
what? Like, that's like.
And then I think I said, like, what's this rated? Because like when he like blew away that old lady, like it was kind of graphic. And I was like, wait a second. I thought this was like a direct to video, like a PG-13 maybe.
It was an NR. It was not rated, I think.
Are you sure? I think it was R for restricted.
No, was it?
I believe so.
Probably. Oh yeah, R. Okay.
Which then they had to like go and justify the rating. I think the rest of the movie.
But like that line, you imagine like you're a henchman, right? And you're driving and you're like waiting for your boss and like the other henchman to come back. And like maybe that guy was the guy who's driving, like maybe they were friends, maybe they hung out, baby and the driver,
Probably. Yeah, they seemed like they're boys.
Driver, but you know what I mean? Like maybe they were friends. Who knows?
Yeah.
Then your boss comes out and he's like, oh, the old prune panicked. Baby was aborted because the guy's nickname is Baby. It feels like that was like he was just waiting for the moment to shoot the henchman named Baby just so he could say that line.
I think so. I think that was the takeaway. And then like, you're right. The driver did look kind of sad for a second. Like he was like, oh, what did I get myself into?
Yeah. Maybe I should go work somewhere else. Maybe I should be a henchman somewhere else.
Yeah. Maybe I could work in this hotel.
Bank.
So
there we are. So that is 8 hours earlier. So you got the stage set. Our bad guy is like, he's bad because he just shoots old ladies and fucking henchmen like it's no big deal in broad daylight, gets in a car and drives away.
Yep.
We understand we got a hurricane coming.
Yep. We've established all the facts.
Now, looking back on it now, we recognize, okay, we got some Nazi art here that, has been held on to. And this old lady's got an address of somebody who's got some Nazi art.
Yep.
Not that Nazis made the art, but they stole the art because they're a bunch of jerks.
Right.
And then we cut to
our hero.
Oh, but by the way, this is like the first 10 minutes of the movie, I think.
At most. This is like maybe 2 minutes long. We spent probably 15 minutes talking about it.
All right, then we cut to our main character here, Emile Hirsch, brooding with all the sorts of brooding you possibly can.
Yep.
In a bathtub.
Classic. Naked in the bathtub, playing with a gun. If I had a nickel for every time I've seen this scene,
yeah, you would be
6 nickels.
6 nickels. So yeah, Emile Hirsch in the bathtub, trying to decide if he wants to kill himself.
Yep.
A little shot of booze on the table.
Yep. It's like this scene made me immediately hate him. Like I have no sympathy for him. I don't know why he's thinking about killing himself.
Yep.
Like it seems like the scene is just like trying too hard because they're like I don't know if you picked up on the music, but it really bothered me in the scene because kind of out of nowhere and not really fitting for the rest of the movie. They're just like all of a sudden like, oh, like the saddest cello you've ever heard.
Yeah. It was like, what? I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I was in the same boat. I was like, I don't care. I don't what? Yeah.
And yeah.
We're depressed.
And then there wasn't much else. Then it was just like, all right, like now we'll like see him like eating dinner. Like, I guess he decided not to kill himself. I guess that's good because he's the top billed actor in this movie besides Mel Gibson.
We need someone to move things along, I guess, right?
Yep. And he's like, well, guess I'm going to work.
So he's brooding in the tub, by the way. We do get a quick flashback.
True. You're right.
Short snap flashback, which I've already spoiled, but a short flashback to him in a car making out with a pretty lady.
Michael Polish's daughter.
Michael Polish, director's daughter. Yeah. And that's it. Immediately you're like, okay, well, she's dead. Obviously he did it. Or, he did something to do it,
Presumably, yeah. Again, I was so confused, like this whole movie.
Yeah.
Nothing made sense. Nothing added up. They didn't explain anything, and then they explained other things way too much.
Yeah, it was kind of like I see what they're doing. They were kind of like trying to give interest by giving less information off the bat, and it's like, why is he so depressed? Oh, I wonder why. I guess I'll have to keep watching to find out. And it's like,
yeah, that only works in well-written movies. like, oh yeah, well, I guess if they're gonna show us with the plot later, then sure.
That's fair. Hey, it's his first feature film.
You're right.
Let's not go.
We're being too negative.
It's constructive feedback. All right. So then we immediately cut to him in the police station in San Juan, right? And he basically just works the front desk.
Yep, seemingly. And then his boss, some guy who I think is his boss, barges in and just like, hey, fucking guy, fuck you. Make sure there's no motherfucking people on that train. And I was like, whoa. This guy's coming in so hot. Like, what? So much unnecessary swearing. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're trying to justify the R rating now.
Get the R rating. I had to sneak that in.
He's like, you got a fucking mission, guy. You got to go. And I was like, and also, what does this guy belong here? Like,
where are you from, too? Like, sets him up with a shitty assignment, basically, of evacuating and picking up people, right? Was that pretty much what it was?
There's like, well, he's supposed to be evacuating a train, I think.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. I was like, what?
Like, and that's like, he never got to a train. That's where it's like, I don't know what they're supposed to be doing, but
it's so weird.
Yeah, they're like supposed to be evacuating a train.
So this is where the movie like does like it does. So the movie you got to be prepared for is like it cuts between a lot of different like pairs of people, and I think it's trying to get them all to like weave together, but it does not play out all that well. So like,
yeah, so it's gonna go really well describing this to all the listeners.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking brutal because it chugs along and cuts back and forth. So he's got the shitty assignments. Great. And then they cut to a grocery store, and there is a guy who's like hoarding up like all like the ground beef in his carriage, right?
Yep.
Like, taking all of it.
Stacks on stacks of beef.
So much beef. Then there's like another guy who comes up. He's got his kid. He's like, hey, why are you taking all this beef? I want some beef for my kid, but we'll have a burger. We all want burgers. Guy's like, no, I need all this beef. Then a beef kind of breaks out between the two of them about the beef. Then there's a lot of beef going around.
Yep, beef.
Pretty much just, people being shitty to each other during a natural disaster,
Yep.
We know this is how it works, right?
Yeah, and then also, like, way to make enemies on this guy, on the not beef guy, of being, like, getting a guy kicked out of a grocery store. Like, come on, man. Like, let the guy have some beef. Like, go buy some not beef. I don't know. There's probably other stuff at the store.
Yeah, like, the guy could literally just given one package to the guy and it would have been over.
Right. We all that too, I guess. All right. Yeah, I guess they're both jerks at this point.
Yeah. Just give one thing of beef. Like, and just be like, all right, there you go.
Yeah, and then at this point, I had a note of where's Mel Gibson because I thought he was the star of this movie.
He's kind of not really, but he's just there.
Like, we're like 15, 20 minutes in now, I think, right? And there's been no Mel Gibson outside of the very opening scene.
And then
we get to the van, the police van.
Then we cut back to the van, the assignment. So we got Emile Hirsch's character and his new partner there, who's played by Stephanie Cayo. I don't remember her name in the movie, though.
I'll remember it in a minute, probably.
Jess. Everyone's got first names. That's it. So she's Jess, and Emile Hirsch is Cardillo.
Pena. Jess Pena. She's got a last name.
Oh, that's right. She does.
It's not on IMDb, but
that's right. She does. That's right, because they don't have the badges on there. So
I just remembered Officer Pena. Yeah,
that's right. So they're in the van, and just sitting there, and Emile Hirsch is just like, "This sucks. Life sucks. Don't worry about it." Blah blah blah.
Well, I feel like there are a couple of good gems here. So yeah, he's complaining about everything, and she's also complaining about everything. Where she's like, oh, I just wanted more action. I wanted to transfer to Rio Piedras, which they mention this other city a bunch, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in Rio Piedras? Like, it sounds like it's a real shit show up there. She's like, oh, I really want more action, and you're like, there's no cop in my mind, or any cop that I've ever met, that's like, oh boy, I really wish there was more crime. So I had more stuff to do. Like, that's like only happens to movie cops.
Yeah. Like, what? No,
like, I mean, yeah, I wish there were more murders, like something exciting.
Like, what?
And then this is when one of my first good line from Emile Hirsch, when he goes, wash her hands at the sink and get splashback. Still looks like you pissed yourself. And I was like, all right, like
What?
just complaining about his life.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Like, and then I also wanted to call out because they identify themselves this way a bunch. They're like Sector Atom Boy Charlie responding, and you're like, wait, they're just like their team is like ABC.
Yeah, that's it.
Like this seems like the laziest possible way. Why would you like make it something interesting at least?
Right? Like Whiskey Tango Foxtrot responding.
Sure. Like anything else. And that's where like I'm immediately hate this guy. Emile Hirsch's character, like he looks like a tall Ben Shapiro, and is like equally as douchey.
Yep.
And I just really hate him a lot. Sorry. Got carried away.
No, that was good. Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough. So then they're like, oh, hey guys, there's an emergency in this store. Like we got to go. That's our ABC responding here. We got to go to a store where there's a guy, there's a situation.
Right. Cause the two guys who are fighting over the beef now, they actually physically fight over the beef.
Yeah. And I am very pro meat guy at this point.
I'm not pro anyone.
Your team other guy. Yeah.
What's that?
Your team the other guy, I think.
Yeah, just give him some beef. He just wants some beef for his kid.
Yeah, fair. I mean,
like the guy's literally he's got an entire grocery cart full of ground beef. What the fuck you doing, dude? Just stop.
Yeah.
No one knows that you have what you have in your closet, which we'll get to.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm still team meat guy because he's not hurting anyone. Like you said, he was like, "Oh, just go buy something else. Like this is a store. We're all here. You know, it's a free market, man. Like go."
Gross. Just be fucking nice to someone. Like, yeah, here's a package of beef. All right.
Yeah, and then tall Ben Shapiro rolls in and he's like, "Yeah, let me talk to El Victimo here." I'm like, what a jerk! Like they already kind of make it a point that this guy doesn't know any Spanish. But now they're just, like doubling down on it. Yeah, it makes me hate him way more.
It's like, how long was he down in Puerto Rico too? Like he knows no language at all. Like nothing of the language at all. Like
right, exactly. And then they start talking about this guy's pet a bunch, like too much. Like there's so much back and forth. Who he's like, what kind of pet you got? Like,
yeah, it was like
all this meat.
Yeah, because he kept saying, I have to go feed my cat. Gotta feed my cat. So they're gonna so they're basically arresting this guy, the beef. I'm gonna call him the beef thief because that's a fun phrase to say.
Sure.
But he wasn't stealing any beef. He was just
Jason Griffin is his name.
No, the beef thief.
Yeah,
wasn't he stealing beef, but he kind of was because he was taking all of it.
No,
so I'm gonna call him the beef thief.
He stole nothing, Russ.
That we know of. Yeah.
I'm team beef boy. I'll call him beef boy because he didn't steal anything.
Beef thief he's stealing all the beef from everyone else.
He's purchasing all the beef.
Sure, but he's still thieving it from everyone else. Beef thief. That's a much cooler name anyways. Beef thief.
All right, fine. So yeah, he's the whole reason why this movie happens.
He is quite literally he kicks off. Kicks everything off because now we have Emile Hirsch and Officer Jess Pena.
Yep.
Perez? Pena. They're going to arrest him, and they're like, okay, you come with us. And then he goes in this whole spiel about how he's got to go feed his cat.
Right. Well, no. So all right. So this, I'm going to call you out on it. So he never said. Did they cut back and forth again then? Or No. So like this is when like Emile Hirsch keeps saying your cat. The guy has never like very much made a point of not saying what his pet is. Like he's never said it's my cat. He's like very shady about what his pet is.
Oh, interesting. I thought he mentioned he's like, oh, I just have to go home and feed my cat.
No. That was Emile Hirsch saying like, oh, what? You just got to go home and feed your cat?
Yeah. Oh, someone said it, just not the guy, not the beef thief.
Yes, exactly. So that's what like. Thief. It's like spoilers for way later in the movie. Like it is a cat that we just like
technically
right, but like I'm assuming at this point that it's a gator or something cool, because like they're building it up to be this like crazy thing.
Yeah,
Like they're being very secret about what it is. They're making Emile Hirsch look like a clown for being like, oh, like what? Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. You got to go bring your cat a little meat, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it made me mad. And then that's the whole inciting incident for the whole movie.
Is the beef thief, beef boy fight with random guy who wants to feed his kid.
Yep, exactly.
And that gets them back to the apartment complex where the beef thief has to go to feed his, that we don't know yet, cat or animal.
Exactly. Where we meet my favorite character in this movie, the true unsung hero, Super Louie.
The apartment manager, right? Apartment complex manager or whatever.
Yep, exactly. And he, Louio is his name.
Yep.
Who they make another point about Emile Hirsch being a douche and being like, all right, look, Louis Joe. And I'm like, his name's not Louis Joe.
Like, come on, man.
Like, just listen.
Yeah, just listen. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, he's credited on IMDb as Super Louis Joe, which makes me furious because his name is Louio. And in the subtitles, I had the subtitles on for this one because I was like, I didn't want to miss anything. The dialogue was too terrible in some parts.
That's reasonable.
And so the dialogue, just like the subtitles started calling him Super Louie. And I was like, don't call him Super Louie. His name's Louio. How hard is this?
Super Louie Brothers.
Yeah.
But he's doing what a super should. He's sealing up the apartment complex. He's handling plywood over the windows. He's out there.
Actually knows all his tenants. Like, it seems like he has a good relationship with them all. He's like, oh yeah, that guy, he's up in 33B and that guy's in 65F. And I was like, wait a second, also 60 and 30. Like, how many apartments are in this building?
Well, there is a scene where there's a lot of walking upstairs. Like, there's a lot of stairs.
Yeah, I think there's like 50 plus apartments in this building. But like, it just made me hate Emile Hirsch so much. And I agreed with Officer Pena there. She's like, oh, he's really got to learn some Spanish. And like, his name is Cardillo. Like, I guess they call him Cardillo the whole time. So I'm wondering if it's an Italian thing, but they kind of like lead you. I don't know.
I thought he was Italian. I don't know. Like, I felt like everyone was like a bunch of Italians from New York. Yeah. Anyone that wasn't like clearly from Puerto Rico and spoke Spanish was from New York.
I guess you're right. That does make the movie make more sense, I guess.
Right. It was like Mel Gibson and what's his face? Well, no, he is from New York. Emile Hirsch's character.
True.
I don't know.
All right, so
it is a mess. It's a mess movie. All right, so we're at the apartment complex. We meet Super Louis Joe there. Super Louis.
Yep.
And we get there, and so, oh man, this is gonna be a long one. So we have Emile Hirsch's character.
Yep.
And Jess there, the two cops, and they're with the beef thief, and they're like, yeah, just go in and take care of your cat. We'll meet you down here in 5 minutes. Like, what?
Yeah. They're like, we're going to go look for these old guys that are in this building because now they're kind of getting back to their mission where they're like, oh, I guess we have to evacuate these people.
Right. Because Super Louie tells them like, oh, there's two old guys in here who don't want to leave. Right. And they're like, all right, well, I guess we have to go in and evacuate them because that's what they're doing. That's what they're supposed to be doing. They got the bus, you evacuate people and get them out of there, right?
Yep.
So then we cut to kind of a quick, we get second introduction to Mel, right? We saw him at the beginning of the movie, but now we get it's like Mel Gibson. They get inside the building. Beef thief is going to feed the cat. Cops are
like 6 flights of stairs.
6 flights of stairs. Cops are going to go talk to first old guy who doesn't want to leave his chair. Of course, it's Mel Gibson. And we meet Mel, and he just
he's immediately awful. Yeah. He's immediately Mel Gibson in real life.
Yes.
Where he's just like, oh, like you cops, like current police department's full of pussies and politics. And like,
sounds about right.
This is exactly how I imagine Mel Gibson talks.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was like, he hates everything and everyone. And like, you're just waiting for like that. Yeah. Something good to come out of him.
Yeah. A couple of things that I noted here. So is house what they call a precinct in Puerto Rico? Because they did a lot of that where they were like, oh, I'm trying to like transfer to this house. And I was like, Are they talking about precincts?
But maybe just be police jargon in general for like, yeah, different stations, different precincts, probably, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I don't know police lingo, but I would assume that's like just some whatever.
I mean, I've heard a lot of movie police lingo, and I've never heard house used to say precinct. So that's what was throwing me off.
The writer probably just Googled it and just was like, oh, sure.
I think you're giving him too much credit. And also, what accent was Mel Gibson? Like we said, New York, but like it's not good.
I don't know what it was, man. It was like, I don't know. Definitely it was New York, or it wasn't Boston, but it was New York, and it was just, I don't know.
Yeah, and then we both had notes about why is he pushing him so hard about his past?
So he recognizes Emile Hirsch's character Cardillo, right? He recognizes him. He's like, oh, I recognize you. And then they spend like 3 minutes, which took a long time in film, with Mel Gibson's character, just like hammering him about like how he recognizes him, and then recognizes like, oh, you're the guy up in New York who killed his partner or something, right? Does he go through all that, or?
I don't think he.
No, he does get to it. He does get to it. He's like, yeah, you killed, your partner got killed, whatever. You ever watch this guy shot, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like he gets to it.
Yeah. Does he say that, or does he say like you got this cop killed or something like that? Because I don't think we know that. I don't think we know he killed her at this point. Like I think it was kind of a reveal.
We also don't know who that it's a her. We just know that it's a right. They don't make that whole tie-in.
They do make that tie-in because then he goes like, "Oh yeah, wasn't it your girl? Like that was your partner or whatever."
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
And that's what makes me think. I think that they were just like. I think he said like, "Yo, you got that cop killed," or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You cop killing cocksucker," and I was like, "What? Mel Gibson, why are you so mad? Like, what did he do? I'm so confused. Like they didn't explain it.
Like what is going on?
Yeah.
But so he's hammering on him, and then we get you got some stuff here. You keep going. So
yeah, so then that's when like they go outside. The daughter of Mel Gibson,
right.
Troy, who's a doctor, she steps outside with
Boz, if you will.
Yeah, what's Emile Hirsch's name in the movie? We keep calling him Emile Hirsch. It's taking me too long.
It's Cardillo.
Yeah, but what's his first name? Do we remember? Jeff or something?
I don't think he has a first name. I think it's just fucking Cardillo. That's it.
Hey, really? Yeah, lame.
Like
anyway, so Cardillo, I could have sworn he had, because he's flirting with this girl the whole movie. I assume they were flirting with first names, but
I don't think so. No, I don't think they ever mentioned each other's names.
That sounds right. Well, yeah. So she's
you
Troy.
Her, but that's about it.
Right, Troy Barrett, and they're like they go outside on the little balcony thing there, like the stairwell balcony, whatever it is, and he's like, "Are you really a doctor?" Like it made me so mad because I was like,
"Yeah."
He deservedly gets the response like, "No, I just like wearing pajamas." Like this woman's like, yeah,
you're clearly not a detective, are you? You fucking moron. Like also we missed a step here. We should note that Kate Bosworth's character there, what's her name again? Troy? Yep.
Because Mel Gibson wanted a boy.
Oh, right. Okay.
You get that later. Yeah.
You listened more than I did. So that's there. She is Mel Gibson's daughter and a doctor. But yeah.
Yeah, she's taking care of him because Mel Gibson clearly has some kind of ailment. Like as soon as they show him in this scene, he's like sitting in a chair, hacking up a lung, like complaining about. He's like, "Oh, my kidneys hurt and my other organs," and it's like very like on the nose.
It also doesn't do anything later in the movie, does it? Like it doesn't really play a factor of him being sick, does it?
It kind of does. It comes up again once.
It's supposed to show that he's not going to be like going to save the day, I guess, right? It's like, you got a weakened old man here. Like, I think that was it. Like,
yeah, I think that's part of it. And then it comes up again once later, but
yeah.
So yeah, you're right. So like we don't know anything about any of these characters. I don't have any reason to like them. I hate most of them. I'm on board with Troy at this point because she's like, seems reasonable. She's like, "Oh, yeah. Dad, like stop being a cranky old bastard."
Yeah.
And, like I'm Team Troy, I guess, by now. And at this point,
this is the gem. Now, this is an important part of of just logic in this world, right? This is where we come to where they go. So Troy and Cardillo go back into, the room, the apartment with Mel Gibson there, right?
Yep.
And it's just raining out,
Yep.
albeit pretty hard, but it's raining, right?
Sure. Yeah. It's a category 4 or 5 hurricane, supposedly.
But it's raining, yeah, it's raining. And so
Moderately raining.
Cardillo tries to radio his partner there, Pena.
Yep.
I forget where she is. Oh, she's with
Mel Gibson.
No. Where's the his partner? Where is she at this point?
Yeah, she's with Mel Gibson. She's like back with Mel Gibson. They had gone outside. I think this is where we like.
That's right. I'm sorry. You're right. That's right. When Kate Bosworth and Cardillo go outside and they're talking, they continue on to go talk to the other old guy because there's another old guy in the building. That's
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
The old Nazi that the thieves care about.
Right. Exactly. We haven't gotten to like.
I thought they went back in, but that's right. But then that's right. They get to the next apartment or somewhere. They get somewhere where he uses the radio, and he's trying to radio Pena, who's in the apartment with Mel Gibson, and it's like it's all staticky, and it's like, oh, your radios don't work in rain.
Yep.
Like that's.
Yeah, they're like, all your comms are down in this shit. Like that's what Mel Gibson says. Who's like, who is at the same time this like grizzled old retired veteran police officer who also like later on happens to know everything that's going on with the most current up-to-date cases.
Yep. Yep. Like he's just
Oh, all your comms are down. It's raining. Don't you know that, you dummy?
Like wait, what? How it's a walkie-talkie. Like it's raining out. Like how is that bringing your comms down?
Yep. Yep.
If that was a real world problem, that'd be a problem like all the time. Right?
I would think, yeah. I'm no comms expert.
I'm no comms expert either, but like I don't know, like a storm, is that gonna knock out a walkie? Like I don't know.
No, because I think the police radios are designed to be better than that.
Yes. Emergency fucking like channels, like
yeah, like I'm fairly confident that that's a thing. And this is when she brings up again. This is when she's in there with Mel Gibson. Pena, sorry, I'm saying she. When Officer Pena's in there alone with Mel Gibson, and she's like, "Oh yeah, like I got to get transferred to Rio Piedras," and I'm like, "What the hell is everyone's obsession with Rio Piedras? Like, what kinds of horrible crimes are going on up there?"
Like, we don't know. Like I don't know.
Take me to a movie there. It sounds more interesting.
Right. Sounds like you could have a couple sequels up there. Like why? Like.
Yeah.
All right. So we've established all of our characters. We got Kate Bosworth's Troy. We got Mel Gibson. Was he Frank? Probably.
Yeah.
We got Cardillo, who's Emile Hirsch. We got Stephanie Kaya, who's his partner. So we got the two cops, retired cop's daughter.
And we got Jason Griffin in his own apartment.
What's that?
We got Jason Griffin in his own apartment.
Beef thief still in his own apartment. And then we do have one other character. We have the old he was a Nazi, right?
No, his dad was a Nazi, but I call him a Nazi the whole thing because
whatever, that's fine. So he was
he's kind of a Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. You're the son of a Nazi, you're probably a Nazi. So
I'll judge him for the sins of his father.
Yeah, I think it's a close enough generation. So we got that old guy, and that's what we got. And then we got bad guys coming in, and the bad guys are in.
Well, right before they get in, my guy, our hero, Super Louie, rest in paradise, Super Louie. Which this is where I like. This is the first time I saw it with the subtitles said like, "Oh, Super Louie says this."
No, Super Louie.
Yep, knew he was about to die, and then sure enough.
He was just being a good citizen. He was boarding up the windows, and he was telling these guys, "Hey, you can't park out front. There's this hurricane. I'm not sure if you noticed, here."
Yeah, it's raining.
It's raining hard. It's raining so hard that police radio communications can't work right now. You should probably move along.
Yep. And so that's when the bad guys blast poor Super Louie.
Kapow, kapow, kapow. But then at the same time, Cardillo, Emile Hirsch, is coming down and witnesses this, right?
Yep, exactly.
And that's what sets off we got a shit moment here. What's going on?
Yeah. every 15 minutes in this movie, there's something that like changes the entire direction of the movie.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, wait a second. We were about to go evacuate people from a train. Oh, wait, no, now we're at a grocery store. Oh, wait, actually, we're going to go feed a pet cat and also get a couple of old guys out of this building.
And,
oh, wait, now we have to stop like international art thieves.
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, and now this is finally the one that sticks. This is the one where they make the rest of the movie about it.
Like, this is it. Now we're good. I mean, you have to get people to where they are, you know?
Sure.
So, bad guys are in.
Yep.
Emile Hirsch, Cardillo. I'm going to go Cardillo.
Yeah, let's go Cardillo.
So Cardillo, he sees the Super Louis get shot, rushes back up because I don't think we have that covered in here, but he rushes, he grabbed, takes Kate Bosworth up there, Troy, let's get out of here.
With the old Nazi. That's when he grabs the old Nazi at the same time.
The old Nazi, because he was being because he was being a pain in the ass. He didn't want to come out of his old, his old Nazi secured room. This is important, right? Because like they're like, you got to come with me right now. So he pulls them both out, and when the door closes, you see like the lock pad he has on his apartment.
Exactly.
Showing you something in there is important, right?
Right.
Which we find out later. And then they rush to Beef Thief's apartment to try to get in to let him in.
On the way there, this is the first time where I was like, okay, so the old man is valuable, the old Nazi here. Because then, like, there our hero from Dexter.
David Zayas?
Yeah, David Zayas. He's like, wait, don't shoot that guy. He's like,
that's right, because they spot him going through, like, walking up the stairs, and like, don't shoot the old man.
Exactly. So that's when you're like, okay, so the old man, it plays a role here.
Yep.
Somehow. Still very confused at this point. Like, I have no idea what's happening. All of this stuff that sound like, I'm hoping that for our listeners, this sounds like a somewhat coherent, clear movie. It wasn't watching it. So I like to think that Russ and I are doing a better job of telling you what's happening than the movie told us what was happening.
I don't think we are, actually. We're not doing a good job at all.
Good. Perfect. Good. And they're on board with this is exactly how we watched it.
Hopefully people are listening to me like, man, I'm wondering what happens next because I'm so confused.
Right. Exactly. So
maybe it'll sort out in the end. It won't.
No, of course it won't.
But it will. So they get to the Beef Thief's apartment, trying to get in, let us in, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of annoying. I really didn't like this part. It was just like irritating me.
Yep.
Emile Hirsch.
They get in.
They get in. Let's just skip all the fucking drama.
Well, So then they get in, and this is where he's got a good line here. Great commentary on.
It was a pretty good line.
Our ISP friends. He's like, oh, our comms are out. Like this is when Cardillo is like, our comms are out. Like, can I use your landline? He's like, I don't have a landline. Like, I didn't get the bundle. And I was like,
it was pretty good.
Didn't we all?
Didn't we all? Right? Didn't we all skip that?
Yeah. Like,
well played, Beef Thief.
But he's worried about Janet, the mystery pet. Like, poor Janet. She's really hungry.
Yeah. This is where things just get weird. It was really weird. I don't know. So there was some flashbacks there was like some cutscenes earlier where like he's preparing some like all the meat he bought in this big bucket, and he's got this closet door that's like all major locks on it.
Yep.
Right. And I have no idea. We have no idea what's in there. We can hear some type of animal. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, I still think it's a gator or something at this point.
So he's gonna go. So I think the door. I forget how this plays out. So we have the Nazi, we've got Beef Thief, and we've got the Boz and Boz's daughter, and then we've got Cardillo, Emile Hirsch, all in the apartment now. Emile Hirsch is freaking out because he's not a very good cop, really. Doesn't seem like at all.
No, he's an awful cop.
He's actually a fucking terrible cop. And then we have the Beef Thief. We're in his apartment, and the door opens up, and the Beef Thief fucking just gets sucked into the closet, right?
Right. Yep. Gets sucked into the closet
by what you think is a gator.
Yeah, like by unclear, I'm thinking, I hope, this is when I said, like, I hope Janet is something cooler than a gator, because otherwise, like...
I literally thought at this point in the movie, it was going to turn into, like, a, like, weird monster movie. I really thought. Yeah,
that's what I was hoping. I was really hoping that.
I was, like, rooting for, like, awesome. Is he got some weird, crazy animal in there? It's just going to be, like, now it's, like, good guys, bad guys versus each other versus crazy animal. I was like, no, man, like this could
Right.
be
Yeah, and like the old
during a
Nazi.
hurricane. It's like nature is going to defeat you both. Like that's
Yeah.
what I was doing.
Oh, it's gonna kill me, and I shouldn't have said anything because now it's gonna bug me. There, the what was the movie that I just watched with a gator and a hurricane?
Crawl.
Yeah, Crawl. Thank you.
I got you. I got you, boy. I got you.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was gonna turn into that.
Right?
uh,
That's what we needed this movie to become.
yes, and like the downstairs guy, the Nazi is like he's an awful actor. Like he's like standing there while this is like while Jason gets like sucked into the closet, and he's like just kind of like looking on like, oh.
Yeah, he's not a good actor. He looks like just
he's probably from Puerto Rico. I don't know. Like he's probably just like some guy they found on the street, and we're like, "Hey, guy, you want to be in a movie?"
Jorge Luis Ramos plays Camp.
Plays the old Nazi guy, right? Which explains the shitty German accent, a number of things. Yeah, and like he's just like watching the what I hope is a gator just like suck him up into the closet and go to town. And like meanwhile, what the hell's going on with Pena and Mel Gibson? Like at this point, we've cut away from them for like 10, 15 minutes. Like what are they
chatting about? What's going on there?
Yeah. Are they just chilling the whole movie or like?
I don't know. And then it cuts back and forth so much. Like they go back to them and they're like, they're just chatting. And then we cut back to the weird animal situation. And I was like, I really wonder if this crazy animal is going to come back later to,
Yep.
something important to the plot.
And then, and this is when we both called out the like smart way to not kill the valuable old guy is like light up the entire building with C4. Like they're trying to like blow off this wooden door, presumably.
Right. But is this them going into his apartment? No,
I think so. I think this is going into his apartment where there's the safe. I think is in his apartment, isn't it?
No. The safe was in the basement because the safe that's where it was flooded. Because there's like a bike rack and shit like this. So like, all right, so this is where things get they cut back and forth. They jump between. So everyone's paired off now, right? So let's reset where we are, right? So we got bad guys doing their thing. Then we got.
Well, no, the bad guys are in two different groups too, because there's the bad guys that are trying to break into the safe, and then there's a couple of the bad guys that are trying to like start hunting down.
Floating around, right.
Our heroes, right?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so bad guys we got a couple floating around, and we got a couple working to get the safe. Mostly the boss, and then like the guy with glasses, because guys with glasses, I guess, know how to open safes.
Not to be confused with the boss.
Not to be confused with the boss, the boss, but the boss.
Right.
Bang. And then everyone's kind of paired off. So we got Lady Cop and Mel Gibson, and then we've got. So Pena and Gibson, and then we've got Cardillo, Emile Hirsch, same person.
Yep.
We have the Boz, his daughter, Nazi, and Beef Thief.
Right.
Beef Thief got sucked into his own closet by his own animal. You know what the fuck is in there? It's vicious.
Survived. Got pulled out.
No, that's right. He got pulled out. He got a leg thing going on, but there was a whole thing about like bringing the meat. Like all the meat now makes sense why he's buying all the meat at the grocery store. Or he's hoarding it. Yep. It's to feed whatever fucking crazy animal he's got in this closet.
Right.
Emile Hirsch has to strip down from his cop uniform because the guy was training it to like eat cops or something. I didn't catch that part. That was kind of weird.
Oh, I don't think we're that far yet, but that comes up again later.
All right. So
no, wait, you're right. Because at that point, that was when he had to, Emile Hirsch had to go save him. He was the one that pulled him out of the room. Right. And he was saying, take your uniform off first because I trained him to attack cops.
Yeah.
Which is like, again, like everything else in this movie is like the most grotesque foreshadowing of being like, remember that for later. Like everything in this movie beats you over the head with, remember that for later.
There's no subtlety to it whatsoever. And it's like, oh my God.
Very, very obvious.
Then we cut to the bad guys doing bad guy things. So they need to get through a wooden door. Jared, I don't know how you get through wooden doors outside of just opening them or using a key or maybe doing an awesome kick just above the lock. That's how I actually open a door if you ever want to kick one open, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I've been practicing lock picking actually too. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's hard. It's way easier than you think.
So then we've got bad guys using C, and I spelled this out, C fucking 4 to open up a wooden door.
Right. I mean, presumably our old Nazi friend here has like shored up the defenses of this building.
Yeah, no, but he didn't.
Oh, man, like that's the thing. So we'll talk about it later when everything unravels here. But like, if he's got enough foresight to like presumably hide all kinds of artwork all over the building, some of it in some weird safe room, like this guy, as much as he's trying to distance himself from the Nazis, is like a crafty old Nazi bastard. And
yeah,
100%. I wouldn't put it past him to have made this some kind of like crazy door that they can't open without C4.
I mean, they did show that he had like that padlock thing on it,
right,
originally, but I don't know. It just seemed
it's definitely unnecessary.
still just a wooden door. It's like a wooden door. I mean, I don't know. Just get an axe. So they used C4 to open the door, and like I remember he popped the lock. They did like the hinges with C4, which I think is pretty fucking big. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Die Hard. Come on.
Yeah, if I've learned a thing or two from Die Hard.
Yeah, I learned everything about everything from Die Hard. And they pop the locks, and then he literally just pushes a wooden door over.
We cut back to Mel Gibson again and Officer Pena, and she's like, "You got to give me a rec. You got to give me that good rec so I can transfer to Rio Piedras."
You get to that new house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to get to that other house, Rio Piedras, where all the shit's happening.
All the good shit's happening.
And then Mel Gibson's like, "All right, well, give me your bona fides here. Like, what was your best arrest?" Like, okay, narc. Like, what a weird thing to ask. So then she's like, "Okay, yeah, this one time I like found this guy, and he had a big package coming out of his, and he's like, crotch, like everyone else was assuming."
Yeah.
She's like, "No, his ass." Oh, okay. And she's like, "Yeah, 93 bags of crack in his ass." Like, I don't like
what?
This is like a good for subreddit, like not how drugs work. And then Mel Gibson, to be fair to Mel Gibson, he calls her out and he's like, "That's a stupid story."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "I'm such an asshole." I was like, wait, when did Mel Gibson become self-aware?
Completely 100% self-aware. Yep. That's a fucking shitty story. And I was like, "Yep, fuck Mel. That's what we were all thinking." We're all thinking that.
93 bags of crack in his ass. You're like, okay, cool. Glad we all learned something today.
I'm not giving you any sort of rec whatsoever. We're back in what's his name?
Jason Griffin.
All right. The beef thief, a.k.a. Jason Griffin. Griffin,
I think.
He's getting his leg patched up from whatever the fuck just bit him. We don't have really a good idea. I think it's obviously a big fucking wild crazy cat. I think that's what
gator.
Surmised at this point. Janet.
Yeah, cat gator.
Cat gator animal. That'd be pretty cool, right? Cat gator.
I'd watch that.
We have a really funny kind of like aware type of moment here, dialogue, which I wanted to call out, where Cardillo, Emile Hirsch, and Kate Bosworth I think they left the room, but they didn't leave, but they're still in the room talking about how to get like downstairs, whatever, or escape, or where to go. And he's like, "What about the elevator?" And Jason Griffin, beef thief.
Jason Griffin. God damn it.
Jason Griffin. Oh, the elevator is out. And Cardillo says, "Of course it is." And it's just kind of like, that sums up, I think, the entire, like...
I think you're giving the screenwriter too much credit again.
No, I know. There's no credit giving here. I think it's just like, this is just like, of course it is, as in like, yeah, like the radios don't fucking work in the rain. And like,
right.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a little too on the point.
Yep. It's just the way things go. And that's when he goes, "Well, there is one other way out. Like, we could take the scaffolding." Like,
what?
What?
What? Why not just all stay in the room?
Right. Lots of options.
Lots of fucking, I don't know, like, just stay in the room.
So they start going to the scaffolding, right? And so, and that's when Cardillo and Troy go do that, right? Jason Griffin hanging out in his apartment with the old Nazi bastard.
Old Nazi bastard who's putting pressure on the wound for him, so he's taking care of him.
Yep. And then at this point, Mel Gibson is still kind of hanging there, but he's like on his way out. Yeah. And then that's when Officer Pena is like kind of out on her own, right?
Yep, she pops out and she's like walking along the corridor where like apartments lead into like the whatever that space is.
Yep.
And a bad guy spots her. He's just like, freeze.
Yeah. Which why would he not just shoot her?
Right.
Like she's a police officer. Presumably she knows how to like shoot back. like she's a dangerous person at this point. Like why wouldn't he just kill? Like they've killed so many other people already in this movie.
Right. Kill her.
Yep. But he doesn't.
And then we're like, oh man, is he gonna do it? He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. Oh no. And she's like nervous and everything's nervous. Everyone's nervous. We're nervous. Everyone's sweating, palms sweating. We're not really that nervous because like this is fucking stupid. We know fucking Mel Gibson's right behind him. And then we get the old hey asshole, which classic line, gets his attention. He turns and then just Mel Gibson unloads.
Yeah, like have a clip into this guy for no reason. Like save the rounds. You're in some kind of hurricane emergency. Besides the fact that you're in this other emergency.
Yeah.
Like, there are many emergencies happening all at once here.
2 shots. Yeah. 2 rounds.
At most.
At most.
I think I'm Team Robbers at this point. Like these guys are just here looking to get some art, doing a little looting. I'm on board.
I'm on board with Team Robbers too.
Yeah.
They're less dumb.
Right. Mel Gibson's just making me mad.
Yep. So there we are. So now one bad guy down. Then we go back to scaffolding, I believe, right?
Well, no. So this is when we cut back to the scene with the old Nazi, whose name is Paul. Apparently Paul the Nazi.
Paul Bergkamp?
Paul Bergkamp, yeah. Yeah. Like classic German guy.
Very, yeah.
Paul Bergkamp.
And here is Paul Bergkamp, Nazi.
Yeah. And then like this is when we like I feel like we learn a little bit about his backstory, but like still not enough. And you're like, oh, okay, like he's just a German guy, I guess, is like really all we know. And then we cut back to the scaffolding again. It jumps around so much, and everything happens so inconsistently. Like the two of us are going to be all over the place because like there were certain things that were memorable for me that were not memorable at all. Like like then I had like this is when they cut back to the scaffolding, and that's when Kate Bosworth starts hanging there.
Right, they're climbing out there, and I don't even know why she's on the ladder thing, and she's just hanging. For some reason, I don't know, something break, whatever.
She trips, yeah. She like trips and
and then it's like it's raining, and then it's like so she's hanging there, and then like major, big boss guy and henchman are literally down at the bottom, and the henchman is just taking pot shots at her, and it's like, dude, she is literally just hanging there. Like I can't, like
he's got like an AR-15 with a scope, and he's like taking shots everywhere except where she is.
It's like, dude, you have a fucking scope. Like, I would think even that with the scope and all the proper equipment on there, it's like she's just hanging there. It's like she's not going anywhere.
I'm enough of a gun person to know that she's like dangling off of a ladder, maybe like 25 feet above him.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
He could definitely hit her in immediately.
Like what the fuck, man? Like you're a henchman. This is your job. You're supposed to be good at this,
right?
Presumably,
awful. Yeah. And then he misses, and our buddy Cardillo gets one good shot off.
Yeah,
that shoots the henchman in his arm. Like it's like barely like a little flesh wound on his arm.
Yeah, just clips him in the arm. He drops.
Apparently incapacitates him.
Done.
A shot from he's like a 9mm handgun.
Yeah.
Shot to the arm, like knocks him to the ground, and he's like dead.
Yeah.
And then our friend from Dexter here, what's his name?
David Zayas.
Zayas, yeah. He's like
John the Baptiste.
Yeah. Shoots his own guy again for like the second time in this movie. He just at least the second time. I think this might be the third time he shoots his own guy.
He's killed 3 of his own guys at this point.
I feel like that's going to come back to bite him at some point when he doesn't have a crew anymore, right?
Yeah, and it's just down to you. And he's like, well, then what was his response? Like the other guy is like, yeah, he's dead. We just get to split more.
Yeah, I just aborted the other guy too.
Yeah, like, what? Jesus Christ.
What? He had like a minor arm wound that like was very easily treated. Hey folks, Jared here. This was a lot of fun, and as you can tell, but too much for one episode, so we decided to split this one up into two parts.
Part 2 will be coming out on Thursday, so stay tuned whenever you get your podcast, and we'll be in your ears then.
In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That and ITMTPod on Twitter.
Or if you're feeling old-fashioned, send us an email at itsthismeetsthat@gmail.com. As always, you can find all our episodes at itsthismeetsthat.com. Thanks for listening.